Hey everybody, John Peterson from John Peterson Photo here with a little bit of a different video for you today, and this is about close-up photography, or macro is the generic term, but you know, macro, that word comes from the old film days, and it has a lot of implications from a 1:1 magnification or 1:2, 1:4 magnification, that type of stuff. And really kind of the work that I do is not true macro, it's more close-up. And so I tend not to use macro that much. But the reason I'm doing this video today, I was teaching a class last night on close-up photography, relative beginners, and brought out the Fujifilm GFX50s and the 120mm macro lens, and shot some photographs that types of stuff I don't normally shoot is a way of demonstration. But I thought I'd put them up and let you guys take a look at them. And there's one kind of great example of shooting at different apertures, the same subject, and you can really see how the plane of focus or the focus point and or the depth of field really changes as you change your aperture, especially when shooting close-ups. So let's take a look at a couple of the images. So here's one. I found this box of crayons, giant box of crayons, and pointed my camera straight down and shot it. And it's so vibrant, so full of color. You know, the camera was maybe about 2 feet above this, because with that 120mm macro on the GFX, the reach is really nice. So I didn't have to get too down and dirty into the crayons to get all the crayons, to get the subject to fill the screen. So absolutely love this. The detail, the depth, the quality of the pixels, the quality of the information coming through is just phenomenal. Here's another closer up version of the box of crayons. This one I cooked a little bit harder in the color department, made it pop and jump a little bit more. These were raw files coming out of the GFX that I edited. Some of the other next photographs that we'll see here in a second are just the JPEGs coming straight out of the GFX. But here's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, vibrant, colorful image. And then kind of just move the tripod, about 6 inches, a little bit different angle. And this is what I ended up with, a completely different feeling type of image. And that's the beautiful thing about close-up work. You don't have to make big adjustments to have a markedly different composition. You can sometimes move just 6 inches, 4 inches, 12 inches, that type of stuff, and you just change the angle, change the perspective, and you get this great new perspective on a subject that you're shooting. Love the color, love the randomness of this. It's just phenomenal. During class, I brought in some other objects, toy cars, flowers, that type of stuff for folks to look at. Here is one of the toy cars that I brought in. This is a Porsche 911 Turbo. Sitting on the table on top of a white piece of paper. There was just fluorescent lighting in the room. And I tell you, shooting under fluorescent lights is never that much fun if you don't adjust your white balance as you're shooting. I had to do it in post. But this is shot at f/22. And I tell you, this 120mm macro lens, it goes from f4 to f32. And I feel really comfortable shooting at f/22 that I'm still in the sweet spot of this lens. Even shooting up at f/32, I really don't see a lot of distortion in the corners. Fuji makes phenomenal glass, and this 120mm macro is a joy to use. Excellent detail all throughout this image. Let's see if I can zoom in on it a little bit. Oh, that was as zoomed as I get. Relatively good depth of field. My working distance between myself and the subject was about 1.5 feet, I believe, and I really didn't crop this image much. I cropped a little bit off of it, but really not much. And then I changed my angle on this car and wanted to sort of do a depth of field study. So here I am kind of at the front quarter view, and my focus point is on the crest on the hood right here is where I put the focus point. And you can see at this distance, even at f/22, the back end of the car is already getting blurry. So not a very deep depth of field at all, even at f/22, shooting at this angle. And this car is maybe 1.5 inches long. It's like a Matchbox car, not very big at all. So then I changed the aperture a little bit and shot at f/16. And I screwed up this shot, to be honest. I got to admit, the whole thing's kind of fuzzy. But you can sort of gauge how now the blur starts about right here instead of back here. So my depth of field got even shallower. And then at f/8, the crest is still sharp. But look at the headlight that is seemingly not that far distance-wise difference from the crest to the lens, but it's already blurred out. So at f/8, what I have is the crest in focus and then a little bit of the wheel here in focus. And then lastly, when I went to f/4.5, the crest is still in focus. And the wheel, there's just a smidge of the wheel that's left in focus. The rest is starting to get soft. And then the rest of the car, especially the back end, is completely blown out. So it's really kind of fun to do this sort of experiment, to learn your lens, to learn how the depth of field works as you stop down your aperture or open it up. And then shooting with a macro, shooting very close to your subject compared to, let's say, landscape or wildlife. The size of your depth of field changes dramatically as you get closer to your subject. So just a fun little video today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Hope you love seeing the GFX 120mm images. And if you have any other ideas for videos, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day and stay tuned for more.